Hey everyone, my name is William, and today we're going to be going over the ESM synthesizer that is included with Logic. I made it a little bigger here so we can see it a little bit better. This synth, right off the bat, it looks quite a bit different than the last synth that we went over, the synth from section 8.1. It looks different, but it actually has some of the same parameters that was included on that synth. So right off the bat, I'm just going to go over the parameters and tell you a little bit about what they mean. So starting off with the furthest most left section, my bad. We're going to have right over here to start off, we have 8, 16, and 32. And these actually are referring to feet, which is a reference to how they used to determine pitch when when they were talking about organ pipes and how long they were. So this is referring to 8 feet, 16 feet, 32 feet. In short, essentially, this just changes the octave of the synth. That's the default sound for the factory preset. That's 16 is what we're at right now. If I bumped it up to 8, you can hear it's a lot higher in pitch. So that's basically what that's about. Then down here we have a glide knob, which we've seen this before. This just determines how long it takes to go from one note to another. And then this right here, this big knob, this mix knob, what this is if you actually look down here, down on the left there's a little saw wave, and then down on the right there's actually a square wave. So what this is a knob to mix between a saw and a square wave. So right now the default is a saw wave. We have a saw wave going. It's a pure saw wave. Obviously it's going through some different filters and cutoffs. But if we bumped it all the way over to square, now it's a perfect square wave. Sounds quite a bit different. And then of course you can always mix something in between. Moving on, I'm just going to set that back to a pure saw wave so we have that tone to reference. Next we have our cutoff and our resonance knobs. So the cutoff is actually the frequency that it's cutting off. It's a high cut filter. So it sounds like this. If we change this parameter, it depends, or it changes the frequency that we're cutting off. And then if you look down here, this resonance knob determines the boost or cut of the frequencies right around where the cutoff frequency is. So if we turn it up all the way or very high, we can hear the difference really well. So that's what the resonance does there. Moving on, we have this filter section here, these 3 knobs. We have the velocity knob, the decay knob, and then the int knob, or the INT knob. So what these mean, the velocity is how sensitive this is to velocity, or how much velocity is needed to affect this. The decay is how fast the decay is for the filter, and then this is essentially an intensity knob for how intense the filter is. Moving on, we have the volume parameters, which looks pretty similar. It has the same knobs, which mean the same thing, except rather than affecting the filter, it's affecting the volume. We have volume. Well, instead of intensity, we have volume. My bad. We have a volume knob, which just affects the volume of the overall sound. If you want to turn it down, we could just make it really quiet, or make it really loud. We have a decay knob, which determines how fast it decays, how fast the sound decays. And then we also have the velocity knob again, which determines how sensitive it is to the velocity. And last but not least on this synthesizer, we have an overdrive, a built-in overdrive effect. With it all the way off, it sounds like this right now. We turn it up more, and it gives it that really gritty overdrive effect. And I mean, that's about it with this synthesizer. There's not much to it. Another good synth to start out with. This one's really good to learn. It shows some different aspects of synthesizers, excuse me. And also, I didn't mention this at the beginning, but unlike the last synth we went over, this synthesizer is actually a one oscillator synthesizer, which being the only oscillator, this saw or square wave mixture that we can have here is the only oscillator on this synth. I hope you enjoyed this video, though. Thank you for watching. I hope you got a lot out of it. Again, always mess around with these as much as possible. The more you play around with, the more you'll learn when it comes to synthesizers. Thanks for watching. Bye.